Super cloudy day today. It's really nice. We don't get very many cloudy days here in the desert, so we treasure them when we get them. Good evening, everybody. It is about 4:30 p.m. Starting the vlog a little late today, but I am on my way to another board meeting. I mentioned before I'm the chair of the Indio Chamber of Commerce, but the Indio Chamber of Commerce is actually a member of a regional chamber of commerce, which is called the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce. So the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber is made up of a few of the local chambers. Each chair of the local chambers is invited to this big regional chamber board meeting so that we can give feedback on a hyper-local level on things that are obviously relevant just to our city. So that's where I'm off to today. And this board meeting definitely is a running theme here. I definitely was terrified the first few times. Even the last time I was there, I definitely feel like, oh, I'm the youngest one in the room, or close to that, or I have like purple hair and stuff, and I do YouTube, and it makes me question, like, what am I bringing to the table? But I always remind myself, like, those are actually the reasons why I was invited to be chair in the first place, is because of that unique perspective and unique experience. I always have to remind myself, like, hey, this was not something that you ran for. It was something that you were nominated for. Like, people nominated me to be in this position, so. All right, meeting is over. It's such a thick agenda. One of the reasons why I like being involved as much as I am, aside from just how these opportunities help me grow personally and professionally, there are two reasons. One, if you're an entrepreneur, I think being involved in the community is such valuable networking, because what ends up happening is that people network for you, especially if you're really good at what you do, if you provide exceptional service, or if you provide a unique service like I do. There is no one else who does YouTube coaching and consulting here in the entire Coachella Valley. So that's one of the reasons why I like being involved in the community. But the second reason why, and I notice this a lot, I think part of my fear and like the terror that I feel when it comes to just being out there, being out there when it comes to people and being part of groups that are making decisions. I think the reason why I used to be, or maybe still am, so intimidated by the process of it is because you cannot have an opinion on something if you don't know the current situation and the possible options, right? Because why would you have an opinion on a situation that you know nothing about, right? That's why it's really important to understand, like, this is where we are, and then to get an understanding of, like, this is where we could be, option 1, option 2, option 3, which one is best for the community. And the more that you know the community, the more that you can help, the more that you can support, all of those things. And I think the thing that used to scare me, I didn't know it at the time, was that I didn't have an understanding of the situation. Like, especially here when I first moved, I didn't know anything. I barely knew that Indio was the city that the Coachella Valley, Arts and Music Festival was in. And that's pretty much all I knew. I didn't know anything else. So to be invited to get involved in this way was like, I mean, what do I have to bring to the table? I have no opinion on anything, but it's something that, like, I would have never even thought that community involvement, civic engagement, like, these are things I never even realized was something that could be so rewarding. But I am so glad. I mean, that's why I keep doing it, because not only am I gaining as a person, but it's cool to be an active community member. It's cool to be an active citizen. The one place I'll draw the line, though, is politics. Like, I don't ever see myself getting involved in city council or any kind of political position, because first of all, it's really part of my difficulty in making decisions is that I'm super empathetic. Like, I can understand everyone's side, and that's why it's hard for me to pick one side over the other, because I can really understand both sides, and that makes, you know, I don't have that, like, I think some people, it's so much easier for people to come to decisions and they just stick by it and they're so confident. And, you know, I think part of that comes with the experience that I was talking about. But yeah, and then the other part of being involved in politics is that, like, no matter what, you have instant hate from, like, half of the population. Like, especially with city government, like, there's always people who are complaining and they're going to blame the city for everything. And that's just like, I would so much rather get involved with, like, the business community, the chambers of commerce, nonprofits, stuff like that, where like, it's voluntary, you know, it's voluntary donation of your time, treasure, or talent. And it's a much more positive environment for what I'm able to bring to the table. But I keep telling Tom, I'm like, dude, you need to run for city council one day, because he's so pragmatic, he's so practical and logical, and he's definitely one of those people who can weigh decisions and, like, take the emotion out of it, and he'll stick by his decision. Obviously he has, like, you know, the ability to compromise and stuff like that, but I think he's that person where he can make a decision and be a leader. I'm more of, like, a cheerleader and motivator, whereas he's, like, really good at being the one who steers the ship. Snoot number 1, snoot number 2, snoot number 3.